Right then, the fountain of knowledge, that is David Ornstein, has delivered us the information that Chelsea are aggressively looking to sign a midfielder in this transfer window. And with a whole host of names and profiles being mentioned, in this video we're going to be looking at who Chelsea should actually sign and give them a ranking based on how good of a signing they would be. Let's do it. Romeo Lavia. Since signing from Manchester City, the Belgian has done very well at Southampton and looked like one of their best players when he's played. Lavia's numbers in some areas are amazing, but then they're below average in others. For example, for interceptions per 90, he averages 1.94, which is in the top 4% for midfielders, but for progressive passes completed, he only averages 3.07 per game, which is in the bottom 35%. But the big thing here is that Southampton's style does have an impact on his numbers. So it's going to be about the eye test at times. And with Southampton never really playing a ball domination style, therefore their midfielders aren't in possession as much as others. So when it comes to Lavia, he has shown those glimpses, I think, of being too good for Southampton. You know what I mean when I say that. So, with Chelsea's interest being clear in the summer and the fact that they even tried to buy him from Southampton, he could be a great signing for Chelsea for the long term, but because he's still relatively new to the Premier League, there's going to be some concerns, and when you're one of those top sides, you need to deliver straight away, and they've got enough young talent as well, so I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Now, this one, however, this is some hot property right now. They'd be parting the Red Sea to get to Moises Casado. I really like this one for Chelsea. I think if anyone can go and get him, then they're doing a good job, because Casado is fast becoming one of the standout young midfielders in the Premier League, and he's proving that Brighton were right to sell Basuma to allow Casado to come through, and Casado might even be better. Let me know how you feel about that in the comments down below, because at only 21 years old, he is the beating heart of his national team, and he's put in some really lovely displays in the World Cup in Qatar, but it's the Premier League form that makes him really stand out. And despite not being a persistent creator or scorer, he offers so much. He really does in the Brighton midfield in terms of all-round impact on the game. There isn't an area of his game that has any real glaring inadequacies, and if we take a look at his FBref scout report, you begin to understand that he's just solid in all aspects of his game, and he's only going to get better as he reaches his peak. He's in a really well-running machine at Brighton. He's played under Graham Potter before, and if reunited, may go on to reach that even higher level that we're talking about here. So this is a solid 8 out of 10 for me. I mean, go and get it if you can, but I feel like the one problem is that it could be pricey, because Brighton don't need to be held to ransom, and they're in the middle of a really exciting season for themselves. So to lose someone of that quality obviously is going to hurt them, but they are a very sensible club. So if the price is right, he'll be gone. Declan Rice. At 23 years old, Declan Rice is surprisingly the oldest player on the list, which demonstrates the angle Chelsea are taking when it comes to their recruitment under Todd Boehly, and just generally how Premier League clubs now do their business, looking for those younger players that they can grow, but more importantly, be able to sell on or even get on a nice, long, juicy contract as well. And aside from maybe Lavia, Declan Rice may be the most defensive-minded midfielder on this list of targets that we've got here that Chelsea seem to be rumoured with. The West Ham midfielder, though, has a lot of attacking assets to his game, and he's displayed a good ability to be progressive in his play, which might suit Graham Potter. I mean, what club is not going to feel like they suit Declan Rice? He's like a superb player. He's one of West Ham's greatest ever Premier League players. And look, you've got a midfielder here who's got incredible size. He's a player who's comfortable on the ball anywhere on the pitch. I think we saw it in the World Cup. I wasn't sure myself, but as time progressed, he really showed that. And Rice is in the top 5% for pass completion across Europe with 90.2%. So if you want a player ready, made to sit at the base of that midfield in Potter's system, then Declan Rice will be a smart move. Of course, he was at Chelsea previously as well, and it would allow him to be reunited with his best mate, Mason Mount, which is always lovely, isn't it? However, with some of the names on the list and the characteristics that they possess, the big question for me is ceilings. What is Declan Rice's ceiling? Have we seen it? Is it kind of, is he going to plateau now? Or can he get better and better and better as that single pivot like he was for England in the World Cup? This comes down to sort of preference here. I think he's a really quality player. I think he's going to cost so much money, though. So it's one where, you know, I guess look, if Todd Bowley's got it and they want to spend it, Declan Rice is steady Eddie. He's going to be at 8 out of 10 in Champions League games, time in, time out. Is he Bellingham level? Not for me in terms of those attacking assets, but is he just as good defensively and if not better? Of course he is. So it's one of those where it might not be the smartest just because of the money, but in terms of risk, it's very, very low. So this is one for you guys. Chelsea fans, talk to me. How do you feel about Declan Rice? Are you happy to pay that premium for someone who's got so many Premier League appearances in the bank, captain for West Ham as well? But does he have the ceiling of these other guys? Talk to me, guys. We just spoke about him, didn't we? Jude Bellingham. Bellingham is perfectly suited to playing in a Graham Potter football team. I mean, he's probably going to be great in any team, to be honest. I think he's wonderful. The Dortmund midfielder is capable of playing 6, 8, 10, and due to the fluency of Graham Potter's football, his midfielders often end up in all three of those positions in 90 minutes due to how interchangeable the players are in the system. So Bellingham's technical ability alongside his immense defensive stats just make him an ideal prototype for Graham Potter or a Graham Potter midfielder. We see from his FB Ref scouting report that there are no clear downsides to Bellingham. Not only is he well-rounded, but he's good everywhere and he's not just decent, he's world-class in my opinion. This would undoubtedly be the best signing of a Premier League club that you can make at this moment in time because it's a 10 out of 10 signing. You know, do we think it'll happen though? That's another question because personally, I think it's, you know, it's obviously Real Madrid, it's Liverpool at this moment in time, and it's the two front runners. But if Chelsea can gazump or usurp, then they must go for it. But the most likely signing is Enzo Fernandez. Now, according to a lot of reliable sources in Argentina, this deal is close to happening, with it rumoured to be over 100 million, which is his release clause at this moment in time. There may be cynics when it comes to this deal who claim that Chelsea are purchasing him off the back of a good month at the World Cup, and I think there's an element of truth in that, but overall, that can't really be the case because he was high up on the list of many European clubs during the summer and ultimately chose to go with Benfica for guaranteed game time ahead of the World Cup, which was a very smart move in hindsight. Now, after 6 months at Benfica, the Portuguese club look like they are set to secure 10 times their initial investment on the World Cup winner. Now, on the pitch, Enzo Fernandez is pretty perfect for Chelsea. He's a player capable of playing anywhere. He allows Chelsea flexibility on the pitch and is a step in the right direction in terms of recruiting youngsters with potential. This one's got to be a 9.5 out of 10 for me. I do wonder if, again, you're going to be kind of overpaying. And, you know, when we look at Liverpool and the moves that they make, they often pay less than that premium because they seem to be a bit smarter and a bit earlier. So in terms of that overall recruitment, have they just been a little bit unlucky here and they were always going for Enzo Fernandez? Maybe, but the extra 0.5 would be given if he was playing in a top 5 league already. You know, he hasn't got that much game time for Benfica. Of course, he shone in the World Cup, but the World Cup and the Premier League are two very, very, very different things. And there would be a slight concern that he may just struggle a little bit because there would be high expectations on him. Let me know your rankings in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button and subscribe for more.